Hello and welcome everybody to an earlier stream on this Saturday. We have a very good reason to be on early today, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But first of all, welcome everybody. Assemble for the 3 versus 3 Challenger Cup that we're having today, and it is a special edition of the Challenger Cup. We've had it in the past. It was always great fun, and it is also, of course, the reason why we're on a little bit early today, because today we're doing Asia versus EU 3 versus 3 Challenger Cup. We have 16 teams assembled for today out of those 2 regions, and we're gonna see who is gonna come out on top. And of course, we're starting a little bit early because for Asia the time zone is a little bit advanced, so for them it's already later in the day, so we can't go too late, and that is why we're starting at a relatively early time, at least for the EU people, but it's still, I mean, it's manageable. But anyways, the way it's gonna work is we have 16 teams, 8 from EU and 8 from Asia, so I'm hoping we see some of each region's finest representatives, some of their finest duelists today, and they're going to be facing off in a bracket where at the start it is each EU team is paired up with an Asia team, and we're going to see which region is going to come out on top in the end. And in general, we're just going to have some fun with Master Duel today and see who's going to take it all and just watch some good gameplay, honestly. And that is going to be what we're doing today. The first round basically is about to begin, or as one game has already started, as all of them are finding their seats and are starting their matches. The way it's going to work is basically standard 3 versus 3 rules. You can see under my face cam, best of 9 is how it's going to work. So standard 3v3, we're going to have each player of one team face off against each player of the other team, and whichever team is going to be able to win 5 out of those games is going to advance to the next round. So why don't we kick things off here with the first table that we have, which is Team 101 from Asia versus Team FSN 0 from Europe. And we're going to have player 1 DDD going up against player 2 Mars here. All right, and Asia going first here in this first duel. However, we have Mars on 60 cards over here. Wonder what that means. We start off with Roar, which is an indicator for what deck we're seeing. Of course, it is Blue Eyes. However, that is not the most standard opener, I would say, for Blue Eyes. Typically, you would try to open with something else. And here we go. They do not have one of their great normal summons. You know, we don't see an Ether Barrel, we don't see a Sage, we do just normal summon an Effect Veiler. So we're just investing 2 cards to make a Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, but we're not really getting much out of it elsewhere. Like, we don't have anything set up, any of the grind game that Blue Eyes is so well known for. We don't have any of it so far, but we do have a Spirit. That's going to be the end of the turn. We'll see if that's going to be enough against what is presumably a 60 card branded deck. I would be surprised if it wasn't. All right, we're sporting the branded accessories as well. Well, with some Fiendsmith mixed in there. We're starting things off with Gold Sarcophagus. This is normally where you wonder if this banishes a branded card or a blaster to search a Tenpai, but in 60 cards, it's more likely than not branded. It is branded. We're using Tri-Brigade Mercurier here to add from our deck to the hand Albion the Shrouded Dragon. And that's going to send one from deck to grave to draw a card. Now, that's branded opening here, and I was thinking we can't really go through a Retribution line while there's a Spirit Dragon, because Spirit Dragon negates graveyard effects. Ooh, normal summon Albaz. That's going to threaten the Spirit Dragon. Do they use the effect, or do they just contact fuse, I suppose? No, they super poly with branded sword. Okay. Could have tried to force one of the back rows with the Albaz effect, but probably didn't want to discard any of the cards in their hand. So here's a Mirror Jade, and the Spirit Dragon has been dealt with, which is pretty good. Also, the Mirror Jade is protected by the branded opening in the graveyard, and we're adding a Mercurier from banished to hand here, so we've got some pretty good lineup here already. Even though we have not resolved branded fusion, can we have access to it, or did we just not find it? Ah, of course we found it. What I don't know what I was asking for. Of course we have it. Is there an answer to this branded fusion? If not, DDD is in trouble here. Why are you asking? They always have it. You know, it's funny, right? Because the card went from 1 to 2, which in the grand scheme of things, if you really think about it, if the branded players always have it, then it doesn't really matter if it's at 1 or at 2, because they just always have it no matter what. But we have a hard-drawn Drill Beam with a hard-drawn Blue Eyes. That's kind of out of nowhere. So that's going to try to negate the branded fusion. I think that's going to succeed. I don't really know which card they could have here to stop this, and they don't have anything. So the branded fusion gets negated and banished. Still not a great spot for Blue Eyes, though, because we're on 2 cards, and we know that the card in hand is a Blue Eyes White Dragon now, because the Drill Beam had to show it, which is not ideal. So we're going to see if we can draw something to get us out of here. Maybe a Sage can work, maybe a Primite card. Maybe Wishes? No, it's just a set card. Unfortunate. Okay. Gonna end the turn here. Now, the good news, quote unquote, is that the branded follow-up at the moment isn't the craziest. We haven't really gotten into this crazy branded resource loop, so all we have is a Mirror Jade chilling on the board. So, unless we can find another branded fusion here, which Aluber can find another branded fusion if it goes through. And the thing is, we can even dodge an infinite impermanence here with a Mirror Jade if we want to. And it is an infinite impermanence. Gonna target the Aluber here. They will use the Mirror Jade to avoid this, which is gonna force more interaction out of DDD here. No response though, so the Aluber is gonna dodge the infinite impermanence. Now, this does mean that the Mirror Jade has been used this turn, so it's off for next turn, but I doubt that'll matter if this branded fusion resolves. I think we're just going to go in for the damage this turn, because we also don't have to worry about anything in their hand. We know the card in hand is Blue Eyes White Dragon, and that means we don't have to be afraid of any sort of Nibiru or anything like that, so I think branded will not really have a problem putting up 5,000 damage here. Especially with the branded opening in the graveyard protecting from a potential Majesty as well. So not the great start here for our team from Asia 101. Gonna be most likely going down in the first game here with a not so great Blue Eyes draw. I mean, it wasn't terrible, I would say. We had Spirit Dragon, Drill Beam, which isn't the worst, but we didn't really get there in the fanciest ways that we can in this deck. The deck has so many better ways to get started, and we really didn't see any of it. No Primite access. Dominus Purge was the set card indeed. That's going to be revealed here. So we had a solid setup, but not quite enough here. And the Branded is going to take the first game of the series. For EU. Okay. That... Ooh, one of the other games has also already finished. Let me see what that had. That was also won by Team FSN 0. So Europe up 2 games right now in this series. Leading 2-0. Let's see if we have a win for Asia on the other table here. Where it's Young going up against Axe. And Young is going first here. Normal summon effect. You gotta stop normal summoning effect Veiler, Team Asia. Please. You gotta stop. This is not your normal summon. Ooh, the Magnum mood hitting here. Onto the Blue Eyes. That's massive. We're Ghost Ogering the Magnitude. That's how scared we are of the 2500 attacker. So far, it's not looking good here. I think it's looking very, very good for Team EU, or Team FSN 0 rather. There's 8 EU teams in this. Likely, I don't want to speak too soon, but it feels like they're going up 3-0 here in the first couple of games. Looks like we have a Primite Bestial deck. I wonder if Fiendsmith is involved as well. Primite Bestial Fiendsmith looks like the deck here. Not gonna go too crazy here. Just gonna attack, and in main phase 2, gonna declare Dippity and go to the end phase. So Dippity on the board, making the Drill Beam live, Bestials in hand. Good setup against Blue Eyes, and we don't really have much to put up against it. We're setting a card. We have evolved from normal summoning Effect Veiler to setting a card, which is not ideal. Blue Eyes not really delivering here so far, unfortunately, for Team 101. And this is where the Fiendsmith cards come in. They do get ashed on it, but I don't know if that's at this point you're just playing catch up, I feel like, and you're not really doing much. Setting the Ghost Ogre. The Ether Barrel is bigger because of the Lordly Load boost, and then we do 2500 with the Lupelion and make a Hieratic Seal of Heavenly Spheres. And then we declare Dippity again to make the Drill Beam live. Again, 5 cards in hand, Seals, Dippity, Drill Beam, Blue Eyes drawing to 2 cards in hand. I don't see a way out of this one, and they just pass the turn. Ether Barrel returns. Gets normal summoned. Drill Beam, reveal Lordly Load. But they can just Drill Beam the Drill Beam. Yep. Drill Beam on Drill Beam activity. And I feel like that's just a matter of a couple of moves here until Team FSN 0 will go up 3-0 over Team 101 here in the first match of the day. There's the second Requiem. That's going to tag out into Engraver or Lacrima. Yeah, Lacrima. Drill Beam reset. Bring back Engraver. And then we already have enough damage on the board. Do we want to keep going or do we just swing? We do swing. And that's going to bring Team FSN 0 up 3-0 in this match. It's not over yet. You do need to win 5 in a best of 9. So Team 101 can still try and mount a comeback, but so far, phenomenal start here for Team FSN 0. I will say those Blue Eyes hands also weren't the best. Definitely not. Definitely not the best. Let's see if they can turn things around here in the second round of games. They're winning the coin tosses at least. They're going first. They just didn't draw very good hands for going first. We have a Molcharmy Fuvalos here in the draw phase, which gets ashed by 101 here. So we have some plant. This makes me think this is not Blue Eyes. And it is, in fact, not Blue Eyes. That is a Snake Eye Ash. So we definitely have plants. Snake Eye Poplar grabs a Divine Temple of the Snake Eyes. Look, this tournament is of course with the current Forbidden and Limited list, so the Snake Eye Oak is still allowed. So I wonder if we're gonna see 101 take the Snake Eye Oak for one last ride here in this turn. Puts the Ash Blossom in the spell trap zone with the Poplar. Links off the Snake Eye Ash without using its effect to tag out. Interesting. Moon of the Closed Heaven. Does it matter? The oak? I mean, I do think the oak ban matters. I do think that's I think it's a significant hit to Snake Eyes at least. I'm not entirely sure if it was going to be my choice if I had to get rid of one Snake Eye card, but I do think it's going to work. There's some lines where you definitely needed the oak. Especially under Droll Lockbird as well. Like when you're rolled, usually you want to go through Oak to make sure you have 2 level 1 fires for Flamberge. Ooh, there's a Nibiru to counter the Fiendsmith part at least. But there's still going to be Snake Eye combo, I assume. I mean, they grabbed Divine Temple, which probably means they have original Sinful Spoils in hand. There's Sengenjin. I mean, as long as they can just get to Promethean Princess, they can get back the Snake Eye Ash from the graveyard. This also kind of explains why they didn't start with the Divine Temple already. Because they want to use the Wedju Temple first. Because you don't want to overwrite your Divine Temple with the Wedju Temple. Lots of temples in this deck. But it did make them a little bit weaker into Nibiru, because of course when you get Nibiru, it's really nice to have the Divine Temple up so you can get that summon. But I think from what we know about their hand, they're gonna be fine here. All right, so we've got Snake Eye Bellstar and Doom Dragon hitting the board for a total of 3 level 8s here, actually. So we even have the option to make a zombie vampire here if we want to. Not quite sure if they actually want to, because like they already have Snake Eye access in the graveyard, and using zombie vampire always has like a little bit of a risk attached to it, because you might just you might give your opponent something valuable depending on what deck they're using. You never know. So instead, we're making Sequence. We actually didn't go through Sequence earlier, so we can just remake Moon and still go into Sequence. And it really feels like nothing has happened by this Nibiru. This Nibiru... I mean, they were forced to use it because they were... I suppose they were threatening a Caesar with the 2 level 6s there. Oh, they got they drew Snake Eye Ash, Bonfire, and Diabellstar. Okay, teach me the ways of Snake Eye. Teach me the ways of Snake Eye. Please. And Ash Blossom for Fuvalos, yeah. There is an Ash Blossom on top of everything else. Ashing the original Sinful Spoils here. Now, unfortunately, this might seem impactful, but I think it's actually still going to be a pretty nice combo available here for 101, because they can still Promethean Princess, bring back the Snake Eye Ash, and get the Flamberge that way. And they're gonna have the Desiree already, so we're potentially still looking at Flamberge, IP Masquerena, Desiree setup, most likely. And because we have the Desiree, we can also get rid of the Firelock. There is something. Ooh, is that a Bestial? That might be worth Bestialing. Okay, they didn't Bestial that. So maybe it's not a Bestial. There was a delay. Yeah, they have something else. Second Nibiru. Yeah. Sometimes you play against Snake Eyes and you wish you could just Nibiru them twice. Alright, Snake Eye Ash is gonna send likely the Divine Temple. Yeah, kind of out of other good sends here. Gonna bring out Flamberge, or I guess they could go through Oak here. In this case, it's probably not 100% necessary, but you can. So they choose not to. Alright, Flamberge Dragon's effect to place here. The fact that we're using this means that we're not going to be able to place an IP Masquerena later. We're getting rid of the Firelock of Promethean Princess here to make an Appaloosa. Linking off the Flamberge. So that's going to bring back 2 level 1s, and then we can make IP Masquerena on the field with those, I suppose. That is going to work. Of course, when you're hit with 3 interruptions, you're not going to make the standard quote-unquote endport, but considering all the things that have happened, I think this is still very, very strong. So it's going to be Appaloosa, IP, and Desiree, plus the Promethean Princess in the graveyard, which is, of course, really powerful. There is a Bestial. See, I would have really liked that on the sequence. I would have really liked that on the sequence. I think this on the Lacrima is not nearly as impactful as it could have been. Okay, we decided to hold off on it, and here's the Serenir. Promethean Princess immediately pops it in the end phase. Interesting. Okay. This means that we basically can't use IP Masquerena, right? Because we're locked into fires. I guess we could make like a Nightmare Phoenix. Primite Lordly Load. This feels like a Desiree negate. Yep. Oh! Oh, wait, no, they have Appaloosa. I forgot about that for a second. I forgot about Appaloosa for a second. I thought that was so much... that looked like a hype and aura moment, but it actually wasn't. I was like, oh, that's crazy. And then I was like, oh, no, it's not. Okay. Yeah. All right, and Team 101 is gonna take one here through Huvalos, Ash Blossom, Nibiru, and Bestial. They still managed to reach this impressive end board and take the game here. They're not gonna go down without a fight. I mean, okay, the Fuvalos was just negated by Ash Blossom, so that it's not really like you're beating it with your combo. You just drew an out to it, and the Ghost Ogre seems like it was drawn for turn, so it was more like 3. But yes, how did the other games go? Is what I wonder. They all won. Wait, they evened the score. They went down 0-3 and now it's 3-3. Hello. Hello, Team 101. They have arrived in this match. We have equalized to a 3-3 score. Like to see that. Okay. So it is basically all up for grabs in the third round of games between these two teams. And whichever team is going to be able to win 2 out of the last 3 games is going to take the series and move on to the top 8. Is it going to be Team FSN0 from Europe, or is it going to be Team 101 from Asia? We're about to find out. Let's jump into Dragon versus Young, because I don't think we've seen Dragon at all yet. Once they begin, which should be soon, hopefully. All right, gaming. All right, and I will say Team 101 has won every single coin flip out of the games I've seen so far. Not a single coin toss was won by Team FSN0 so far. And this is like game number 6 that we're watching. Or 5, I don't know. Anyways, we're normal summoning Sage here. We finally have figured out what normal summon you would like to draw in the Blue Eyes deck, and that is Sage with Eyes of Blue. And Dragon is currently thinking about that. Are we letting that through or not? We are Ghost Ogreing it. That is interesting. It's... okay. It can be annoying to get ogred on Sage, because it means like you can't make the Link one immediately, so you're not going to have your field spell, which means you're also not going to have, potentially you're not going to have your Blue Eyes, and they're pairing it with an effect Veiler as well, just Veiler plus Ogre, meaning no search and no monster on the field for you. This is it's a risky play. Okay, this makes it even worse. Because now they can basically pick which half of that is more annoying. Is it more annoying that you're losing the body? Is it more annoying that you're not getting the search? And apparently it's the fact that you will lose your search. So they are going to call by the grave the Veiler, so they can still grab the Maiden. And I think that's still going to be a pretty good position for Blue Eyes here. There's the Maiden. That's going to give us True Light. And we're going for a Roar here. We're not going for Wishes, because Wishes does not give us Blue Eyes White Dragon, and we need Blue Eyes White Dragon, and that's why they ashed the Roar as well. So here's the thing. Most likely, I would think this is going to work and stop Blue Eyes from really doing much this turn. However, we have just thrown 3 cards at them, basically, and the opponent is still on 4 cards here with Blue Eyes. So we don't really... And the True Light is still here to generate card advantage over time. But we really need to capitalize on this one turn that we've basically gotten out of them, where they don't have any field. So we want to try to make as much happen as possible here. Okay, sick. Should not have said that. Feel like I kind of cursed this this situation. Because guess what? We can do all of that again, basically, this turn. And you can't really afford to use like 2 or 3 cards from your hand every turn against Blue Eyes just to stay in the game. Here's Wishes. Ash Blossom could be huge here. Discarding the Biru. Dominus Purge. Okay, well, that's basically Ash Blossom. So this means it's likely Blue Eyes versus Blue Eyes. It could also be Blue Eyes versus, let's say, Fiendsmith. There's Fiendsmith decks with Dominus Purge, but likely Blue Eyes as well. Why not save Ogre for Trap? You can save Ogre for True Light, which in a lot of hands is smart, but it also has downsides, which is that even though you can Ogre the True Light, most of the time, by the time that they use it, they will already have Spirit Dragon on the field. And then they can just negate their own graveyard effect with True Light. Ooh, we find Primate Lordly Load off the top. Does that resolve? That could be a way back into this game. It does resolve. Okay, there's Ether Barrel. Hitting the hand. Do we get access to the Drill Beam? We do not. They use Imperm on it. Okay. No Drill Beam for you. At least not this turn. Maybe next turn. We just hit him for 1600, and then we move to main phase 2. And then we make our own copy of Spirit with Eyes of Blue. Activating the effect. I was almost expecting them not to activate here because it would have made so much sense if it was Mausoleum in hand. But no Mausoleum. Lordly Load, declare Blue Eyes White Dragon. Chain Max C. Okay. Well, that means we're probably just giving them 1 draw for Blue Eyes, maybe 2. That was a Blue Eyes from hand, right? Oh god, no. Oh god, no. That was a Blue Eyes from hand. Do you know what that means? That probably means they have both Blue Eyes in hand. Because, like, why would you summon 1 from the hand if you have 1 in the deck? That's so annoying. Because that also just tells the opponent that you have nothing to interrupt them on the next turn. Like, it's not even just about having the 2 Blue Eyes in hand. It's about now your opponent knows that they have to fear basically nothing because the hand is Blue Eyes and Mausoleum. Yeah, this is just this is very likely to go in Young's favor here, I feel like. Because, I mean, to be fair, sometimes Blue Eyes versus Blue Eyes, one player sees one half of the good half of the deck and the other player sees the not so good half of the deck, right? Like, we see Young here opening Sage, Called by the Grave, Maxi, Imperm, and then we have Dragon here drawing... Well, to be fair, also some pretty good interruption, but like in terms of engine, 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons. We're going Seals Pass, but there's 5 cards in hand. I don't know if that can be enough. set 1. Wait, what? What did they reveal with Bingo Machine? Blue eyes and 2 wishes. Oh, I see. I understand the problem. I understand the problem. Okay, I'll tell you what the problem is. They last turn they added a wishes with Bingo Machine Go. And they must have drawn off of the max C draws or the draw for turn. They must have drawn the Blue Eyes trap. Because wishes has to add a spell trap from your deck. You cannot just add a monster. They must have drawn the last target. They must have drawn the Majesty with Eyes of Blue. Which means the wishes cannot be activated and they might just not have a play right now. Okay, well, I guess that gives you a way back in. Okay, they ashed the Hieratic Seal. They also Ghost Ogre the Primate Dragon Ether Barrel. So, okay. Well, there's a Wishes. We know out of the last 3 cards, we basically know there's Wishes and there's Majesty. This is the funniest Blue Eyes White Dragon mirror I've ever seen. That is a very funny twist to it, because I feel like that was the only way Dragon had a way back into this match. So how many Blue Eyes do they even have? Oh, Dominus Purge with a trap card. That's going to destroy it. The Majesty isn't even live. They have no Blue Eyes. Because if they had a Blue Eyes, they could have used the True Light to special it from grave or hand, but they don't have one. So Purge destroys the Lordly Load. We know these cards. It's True Light, Majesty, and Wishes. And now the card off the top basically decides if they can play this turn or not. Doesn't seem to be that easy. And now I feel like the Primite cards are just gonna outgrind them. This is now the difference, is that Dragon has access to the Primite cards while Young doesn't. And you cannot keep up. Okay, I guess that's one way to keep up with it. You just banish the Ether Barrel with Called by the Grave. Sure. At least we've drawn an answer to that. No, the Drill Beam, and it's live because we drew the second Blue Eyes. We've known this since like turn 2. Okay, I think they win now. I think they just win. Dude, this is one of the most unlikely comebacks I've witnessed in a long time. I thought they had no chance, basically, after the first 1 or 2 turns. This is such an unlikely comeback. It's not over yet, but it's looking pretty good. Because, okay, Wishes, Majesty. What do you draw here to make this work? I guess just drawing Blue Eyes White Dragon could work. Maybe? Because then you activate Majesty. You know where the Drill Beam is because they just reset it, so you can kind of force it with the Majesty, and then you can special summon Blue Eyes with True Light, I guess, after? Or in response, if they chain it? In face. Never mind. What a crazy game, man. It's turn 10. Do something. Drill Beam. Goodbye, True Light. Don't tell me you're just attacking. Oh my god. Man, are you just gonna win with 5 attacks from Primate Dragon, Ether Barrel, nothing else? Come on, man. Hey! It's turn 12! It's turn 12 and we can do Blue Eyes things! A Blue Eyes White Dragon might hit the board in turn 12 in a Blue Eyes mirror match, finally. Let's go, Blue Eyes White Dragon! No, it might not! Jesus Christ. Stop. Oh my god, man. They just can't summon Blue Eyes. Oh, they drew Blue Eyes White Dragon. Let's go. The Majesty is now live. They were like, you don't need to show me your Blue Eyes. How about I show you my Blue Eyes instead? All right, forced that. Oh, there's no way, dude. If they turn this around, I'm gonna lose my mind. There's no way. The thing is, I said the same thing about the other player like 10 turns ago. Okay, we use Imperm on the Ether Barrel, but the thing is, they still have Maiden in the graveyard, and we now know they have Blue Eyes in hand, so they can still go into the link. Oh. Oh. That is a maxi. So the thing is, both cards in hand are known here. We know there's a Wishes still from earlier, and there's a Blue Eyes now because the Majesty was able to be activated. So it's Wishes and Blue Eyes. And you don't really have the option not to special summon here, right? Like if you don't special summon, they just get this back next turn and you lose. So gotta do something about this. There's the field spell. This is the first time I think Blue Eyes hits the board. In 13 turns of a Blue Eyes mirror match. I think this is the first Blue Eyes on the board. Actually, no. They had one on the board. They made seals with it earlier. This is the second one. The first one for Young. Yeah. Wishes equip the Blue Eyes. So they're going for a reset of a trap here, potentially. I mean, at this point, you don't really have the option to respect the maxi, because you know whatever they have next turn is going to be too much. You just kind of like Close your eyes. Go in there and hope it works out. More likely than not, they're just gonna get in the Nibiru at some point. Yeah. Well. Maiden brings back Blue Eyes again. Is this game? I don't think so. No, it's definitely not game. It's definitely not game. Uh-oh. Game without Nib. How is it game without Nibiru? Because the Master Duel doesn't have Ancient Fairy Life Dragon yet. I don't think it was. Load summon Blue Eyes. Oh, maybe load summon Blue Eyes and then synchro with the Maiden into a Spirit Dragon. Yeah, actually it was. Yeah. So load summons in defense, but they had a tuner to turn it into a synchro in attack position. Yeah. Well, now you have one quest, Dragon. One quest and one quest only. It's get rid of that Primal Being token. That's all you need to do. The card in hand is a Dead Wishes. They are on 1600 life points. All you have to do is out that token. Is Typhon live? They did go through Spirit and Tyrant, right? The Typhon is... But Typhon, they purged from hand, I'm pretty sure. Earlier. I'm pretty sure this purge was from hand, so they can't use Typhon's effect. They can make Typhon, but they can't use Typhon. And the same goes for SP Little Knight. How do they out this this token? Not this turn, at least. I mean, they probably still win because they can set up Majesty and just pop it next turn. But I don't think they can actually win against it this turn. This is not... This does not work. This is also under purge. Oh, Baron, though. I guess Baron works. Yeah. Baron is wind. Baron works. There it goes. And that's gonna be the end to a crazy Blue Eyes Mirror match. 14 turn. Okay, attack. Come on. Come on. Hey, hey. Attack him. Don't do this. I guess they want the Blue Eyes animation. No, okay. The Nibiru attacks for game. Okay, sure. We just put the True Light out there for no reason. And Arcanum and Dragon takes down Young in a crazy Blue Eyes Mirror. There's no way that this was not the last game of the series. So let me... Okay, the thing is, this puts up Europe 4-3. Right? In this match. Team FSN 0. When I'm going to click in-room replay, we're going to find out how the other games ended, because we don't know that technically. The Team 101 could have won both of the others. Let's find out who won the series. Dragon won here. 101 won here. And FSN 0 won the other one. Okay. It is Team FSN 0 who won the match. That game was technically game 9 of the series, because it was 4-4 with the other matches, if I'm seeing this correctly. And they took it home for Team FSN 0. So Team FSN0 from EU is going to advance to the top 8 in this tournament in a crazy Blue Eyes mirror match. What a fun game to watch. All right. That was a great start to the day. Great signs of what's to come for the rest of this tournament. I'm gonna make a very short break. I believe this was relatively long, so I don't think there's a whole lot of time left on the round. But I need to quickly grab some water, and then we're gonna be back with more 3 versus 3 EU versus Asia Challenger Cup action. I hope you enjoyed the first match of the series. I certainly did. It was a banger. So we have more of that, and we're gonna find out if it's gonna be an EU team or an Asia team on top of the tournament at the end of the day. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more tournament action, and I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, and we are back with our top 8 teams, and I am very happy to announce that we started with 8 teams from Asia and 8 teams from EU, and right now we're down to the top 8 teams. And guess what the distribution is? We've got 4 EU and 4 Asia still left, so we've got exactly half of the Asian teams that won and half of the EU teams that won, so it's still very much up in the air, still as exciting as it could be. For our top 8, we have exactly split right down the middle, 4 teams EU, 4 teams Asia. So that's gonna be interesting. The only thing that I'm checking right now is, I think right now here on table 1, 2, and 3, I believe we have team UWS versus team FSN 0, which is, I believe, 2 EU teams that have to go up against each other right now. So we're going to have 1 EU team eliminated, but also 1 guaranteed in top 4. Over here, we have, I think, the same thing happening for Asia, because that's Team UNG versus Team IDK, which is Asia versus Asia here. This is Asia versus EU. This is BNE versus Team STOR, which is Luca, Mist, and Nesh, which is also a team that's going to be represented at the World Championship. So since this one is EU versus Asia, why don't we check in with the action here between those 2 teams? And also Team B&E, also I think pretty well-known players in the Asia region. We see someone here with the World Championship icon frame, so gotta be some well established players in the community as well. Let's hop into Luca versus, I unfortunately can't really pronounce the name here, but player 2 from B&E. Let's see. All right. Luca going first. Sengen Jin wakes from a millennium. So that is Snake Eye or Crystron, I would guess. More likely Snake Eye, knowing what Luca's been playing in the past. Places a drone in Lockbird. And the zombie vampire is probably going to reveal the decks for both players. However, I do think it is Snake Eyes. I'm always a little afraid to do zombie vampire against decks with Tearlament sleeves, but I guess we'll fight. It is Tearlaments! Oh no! Oh my god! Sharon, Rhino Heart, Scream, and Meta Noise. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Bro, I shouldn't have said anything. I should not have said that. Oh god, okay. Well. That's so funny. It's so funny. We're still getting the Diabell Star. I guess the big question is, do they have a Tearlament in hand to declare Rhino Heart? They do. That's crazy. Okay. Sharon, Rhino Heart. Scream also activates. They probably don't use the Meta Noise because they don't want to add these two back because they're just now activating. Oh, there's a Maxi. Come on. Ooh, they have an answer for it though. Uh-oh. That's so much more fun. It's so much more fun that they're not on a Maxi now. I like the fact that they had Ash for that. All right, search Solic. Sharon Fuse. With another Sharon from hand, so that's gonna make Kikkalos. We're gonna probably discard the Soliac for Rhino Heart. Yep. There we're gonna set original Sinful Spoils. Now we have a lot of triggers. We've got Soliac, Rhino Heart, and Kikkalos to trigger. So Soliac can search Havness or Tearlament's Kashtira, I guess. There it is, Tearlament's Kashtira. Rhino Heart sends Havness to Fuse, and Kikkalos is going to... Wonder what that's gonna do. Because the Havness can fuse into either Rulkalos or Kaleido Heart, I guess. But you can already do that. So it's probably just gonna send like... I mean, you could send another tier name just so you don't have to fuse with your Kikkalos from the board. I suppose. The thing is, like, this is very funny and it looks very fancy, but so far I don't think this is enough to stop all the things that Luca has. Like, we still have the original face down to go into Snake Eye. We still have 3 bodies to go into Fiendsmith. We add Sharon. We fuse with Havness. Makes Kaleido hard. Probably to spin the original Sinful Spoils, I would imagine. Yeah. Alright, and that's going to be it for now. Just countering basically a lot of moves, quote-unquote, just to spin back the original Sinful Spoils and establish a Kaleido Heart on the board. But still, I mean, you know, we'll take it. We can also still do the Tearlament's Kashtira at some point to mill 3 and hopefully hit, I mean, Snow or one of the Ishizu Shufflers would be crazy here. Nope, that was a whiff. We got nothing out of that. That was Ash, Fenrir, and Super Poly. Here's the thing, though. Luca really seemed to want the Diabell Star for the Snake Eye access. Because otherwise, they could have taken the opponent's Sharon or Rhino Heart if they were really afraid of it, if they already had Snake Eye access in their hand. It seemed like they wanted the Diabell Star so badly that they chose to let the opponent get all their tier name effects. Which makes me think they don't have access to it unless they just wanted to basically force the opponent to shuffle the original and have like Snake Eye access in hand already. But like, if they don't, this is not that good, is it? Like, we're on 4,000 life points, and if we can just do Fiendsmith here, that's not really it, right? That's not gonna necessarily work against what they already have. Sure, we can use Fiendsmith Engraver to send one of them to the graveyard, but you don't want to send Kaleido Heart because it's just going to come back. And even sending Tearlaman's Kashtira is somewhat risky because that's still 2 more cards off the top of the deck. They might risk it though, because I mean, they can't really hit a tier name anymore. So you would just be worried about hitting a Ishizu Shuffler, I suppose. Divine Temple of the Snake Eyes or Snake Eye Ash. How do you get that? I guess, okay, well, if they hit something that summons, then I guess you get the Snake Eye Ash. That was just Ash and Called By, though. Nothing relevant again. Now, how do we get this Snake Eye Ash out of the spell trap zone? Because we've gone through Doomed Dragon. How do we get the Snake Eye Ash out of the spell trap zone and then onto the field? The onto the field part is easy, right? It's just Promethean Princess, but like, I guess... Okay, I see a way. We can make Desiree here, and then we can link Desiree and Sequence into Promethean Princess, and then you can Desiree your own Snake Eye Ash. I wonder if that's worth it. You can, but it's... At that point, you basically don't have the access to any of the Fiendsmith stuff anymore on your end board. Like, and I don't know, but you can. It is possible. The question is it worth it? Well, for now, we're not seeing a Desiree. We're seeing a Lacrima. Should have sent Kaleido. With the Divine Temple up, honestly, you could have. But I think it's going to be Caesar plus SP here, plus Snake Eye Ash in the spell trap zone, which honestly is not the worst, but it's still way less than it could have been if they hadn't, like, if the zombie vampire had not caused that much trouble. So we've got 5 cards in hand to try and deal with the situation. It's a funny aspect of a deck like Tearlaments at the moment, where Zombie Vampire is a pretty popular card, so even when you're going second, you always have a chance. Even if you open, like, no interruption, you can always bank on the Zombie Vampire happening. Which is cool. It's really frustrating, though, when you play a deck like Tearlaments and your opponent goes for Zombie Vampire and you just don't hit anything. Okay, we start with Fiendsmith Tract, which is not the best card into a Caesar, I would say, because that's just gonna be a Larry, and that's just negated, I guess, if they want to. Discarding as Super Poly. Gets Droll and Lockbirded, last card in hand. Okay, ooh, but that makes the Snake Eye Ash off the Divine Temple also a lot worse. Oh, the Tract Fuse. Oh, into Lacrima, and that's going to be big enough to attack the Caesar. Because it makes Caesar smaller. and you just don't activate it because otherwise the Caesar is going to negate it. And then you can just attack it. And if they use Temple to bring out the Snake Eye Ash now, it can't search because of your own Droll Lockbird. Caesar can't negate. Caesar can negate only spell trap cards or monster effects. And that was a spell trap card effect. It cannot negate that. It also, Caesar can also not negate like Centurions in the spell trap zone because that is a spell effect. Not a card activation. All right, well, now all we have to deal with is this SP Little Knight, and I can think of a card that does that pretty well without giving the SP the chance to save itself, which is the Requiem into Engraver. Ooh, Sharon effect. Mudora hits Keldo, but no tier name. This is a very, very interesting game state. We've got Fiendsmith follow-up here for Luca, at least somewhat. We gotta be careful. The Snake Eye Ash is still in the spell trap zone here for the Divine Temple. We have two... We have Keldu and Modora now. Lacrima and Sharon to rank 4. Yeah, but which rank 4 is the way to go here? Because Redoer gets countered by SP Little Knight. Because it loses its materials. So, like, I guess you could do Garis to revive something, but there's no Rhino Heart in the graveyard to revive. I guess if you Engraver here, you force the SP Little Knight out, and then you always have a Light Fiend left to go for Sequence. Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're forcing the SP Little Knight here. They're gonna have to make a decision which card they want to banish until the end phase, and then the remaining two can make Sequence no matter what. Banishes the Sharon. Make Sequence. The thing is, they can still use Lacrima's effect, because they just summoned Lacrima, but didn't use it. They just summoned it to attack with it. And now, what they can do is they can summon it and still use it. So I guess the question now is, what do you make out of that Lacrima? I'm surely this deck plays Pilgrim Reaper, right? Surely this deck plays Pilgrim. Alright, now we use the Divine Temple to bring out the Snake Eye Ash. We can't search with it, unfortunately. The Droll and Lockbird really hurting our follow-up in this case. There's Engraver. And I think we're gonna see a Pilgrim Reaper next. Oh, they're overlaying so quick. That's gotta be the Pilgrim Reaper. Yeah, uh-oh. Uh-oh. You know, Fairy Tale Snow is not, I mean, it's pretty good, and still this is pretty good. The snow is pretty good. It's not the craziest thing they could have hit, you know, no tier limit name at all, but still the Fairy Tale Snow probably seals the deal here. We've got SP Little Knight lined up. We just added to our hand a tier limits meta noise, which is not live because we won't control a tier limit name. I don't think if we can find one. Oh yeah, Sharon is coming back from the SP Little Knight. True. Never mind. Yeah, that should be more than enough. Using the SP Little Knight here, we've got the graveyard follow-up covered anyways, because we have the shufflers, right? We have Keldo and Mudora, so we can easily get rid of the Fiendsmith engine. We have Meta Noise set that's going to be live. We have an SP on the board. We have a Fairy Tale Snow in the graveyard. I think Tier wins this one. I think Tier wins this one off the back of a crazy zombie vampire that the opponent summoned for them. I don't know what you can draw here, honestly, to deal with this. I can't think of a card. I guess Snake Eye Oak is like the best one you can potentially draw, but even that, I don't know if it's enough. So here's the thing. If you use a shuffler here, you allow them to chain SP Little Knight on your Sharon to get rid of the meta noise, but then you chain SP on that. So this basically, this is going to most likely force most interaction out of both players here, except for the card in hand, and they don't chain. So that means the card in hand is not like crazy good. The card in hand does not play through meta noise, I should say. Battle phase. Create the SPs. And concede. Okay. Well, that was impressive, honestly. Very clean tournament gameplay there. Very entertaining game. The zombie vampire made it very entertaining. Okay, and that is game 1 to B&E. Let's see. The other two have already finished. Let's see what the other two have done. It was Herman won against player 1 of the other team, and the other one, Nesh, lost. So the team of Herman, Nesh, and Luca is down 1-2 to team B and E. So that is going to be 2-1. All right, let's jump into the game here between, I believe that was the Tearlament Duelist again versus Herman this time around. Banlist reaction. It's recorded. I did it off stream. It's going to be on the Plus channel today. All right, we have Tearlaments here with Unicorn and Rhino Horde. Pretty strong start, I would say. We're gonna take a little look at the extra deck. 45 cards over here. Banishes Requiem. Mudora to special summon. Okay. It's been a while since I've seen that. Doesn't happen very often anymore because there's just one each. Dugar is the Timeless. Activate to probably draw 2. Draw 2, discard 1. Is that a Tearlament that we discard? Thinking on the discard doesn't appear to be that easy. I mean, at the very minimum, we have Fiendsmith lineup here. We have... Honestly, this is already really annoying for most decks. This is already, as of now, Fiendsmith plus Unicorn plus Mudora plus Keldo, which is already really difficult for a lot of decks, I feel like. And the Unicorn has already banished, basically, the Fiendsmith enabler, right? The Requiem is already gone. Discard Lurie. Okay, well, I mean, we already had Fiendsmith access, but I guess that makes it easier. Makes it so we can keep more bodies around. There's the Lacrima. Here's a thing, though. If we go through Fiendsmith here, we make Pilgrim Reaper again, right? We go in, surely. Oh, okay. SP Little Knight banishes the opponent's Ash Blossom, activates Birth. Oh, I think we're playing around Nibiru here, and I think there was a little response window there. Was that SP on summon? Was that summon 5? Unicorn? No, it wasn't more than 5. All right, there's SP Unicorn Pass with 2 Ishizu Shufflers in the graveyard and Birth face up. I mean, it is really annoying. Activate Wraithsoth. Okay. Heartbeat. That's a very good answer. Discard Scream. Scream effect to add a trap for follow-up. So we got Solik over here, and now you've got 4 cards left. The Cash Tira card would have also been really good against this board, is the thing. Ooh, we got Sengenjin, though. We got Sengenjin, but oh, Cash Tira Unicorn can just take the Doom Dragon. I feel like it is Doom Dragon here. Doom Dragon is so annoying. Yeah. Get rid of it. The Sengenjin is still really good here, but it does make it less threatening. We're going to go to the battle phase, and we're going to attack over the SP Little Knight here. We can play in main phase 2 relatively freely now, except for the Ishizu Shufflers. And I guess we gotta respect Kashira Birth as well. The thing is, though, what can we make happen here? We don't have Fiendsmith access because Requiem is banished. I guess you need access to Snake Eyes, but even then, like, Snake Eyes are not that good against Ishizu Shufflers. I guess they can still do some work, but as soon as you go try and do Flamberge things... Oh, we're bringing back Requiem at the end of main phase 2. We're not even letting them go to end phase. That's bold. And then you're not using Requiem. Okay. Draw phase is skipped. No draw because Dugaris last turn. Requiem effect. Gets ashed. That's another Unicorn rip. Slowly but surely. The extra deck options are running out for Herman in this game. Unicorn again. So we've already taken the Doom Dragon. We've already taken the Requiem. What is the third choice? Promethean Princess? SP Little Knight? Yep, there you go. Engraver. They can make another Requiem and then use the effect again, yes. But they won't get to it because Called by the Grave is going to hit this Engraver. Called by the Grave is going to hit this Engraver, and here's the thing. How? I don't think they can beat the Sengenjin right now. Because the card in hand we know is the Tearlament Saliek. So I don't think they have anything they can do. I think they're just staring down this Seng engine and just can't beat it right now. So for now, that's just going to be the turn. All right, there we go. Golem that guards the Millennium in the spell trap zone. That is Unicorn Rip number 4. There goes Promethean Princess now. They might just lose to beatdown though of the Millennium cards, because this turn we can use Wedju Temple to put another Seng engine and summon that. Dude, if you lose by just getting beaten down by some Millenniums, man. No! Add another Seng engine. I mean, the thing is, though, I don't know if they have enough damage here. They can't really go into Fiends without Requiem. And you really don't want to go into Zombie Vampire in this matchup. Like, if you're trying to go Zombie Vampire right now just to hit like a Snake Eye card, I feel like that is so risky. Oh my god, are we doing it? Oh god, we're doing it. Okay. Oh my god. They got snow. Oh my god, they got snow. Oh lord. Snow and Tearlaman's Kashtira. You got Paradise though. Paradise neat. Original Sinful Spoils with no Snake Eye to shuffle back. Lacrima with no other Light Fiends. I do understand the decision to make Zombie Vampire though, the more I think about it, because it feels like a situation where Herman needs to finish this game as quickly as possible. So they just gotta hope that the Zombie Vampire hits good for them and not great for the opponent. I feel like I think I get it. I think it's a fair choice. But it makes it very tricky now. Because, yeah, you're going for Lacrima. The thing is, the Engraver that you're sending is undercalled by the Grave. So you can't even get that back. And Tearlaman's Kashtira hits Rhino Heart and Scream, and because they said Salik, they can't announce the Rhino Heart effect. I thought about that last turn. I was like, should they set this? Should they set the Salik? Because now they can't activate Rhino Heart, and now that's awkward. But okay, they said it. Keldo effect. What do you need to Keldo right now? I mean, this can't be activated. This can't be activated. This is not live yet, so I don't know. I don't know why we're Keldoing right now. At the same time, I also don't really see what these bodies turn into for Herman here. Like, can't make Requiem, Sequence can't fuse anything, don't have SP anymore, don't have Promethean Princess anymore. It might just be an angle of you have to attack, and that's all you can do. I don't know how we get out of this. Like, what we can do with this. I mean, that's the thing about the Millennium Snake Eye Fiendsmith extra deck. It's pretty narrow, and you know pretty much exactly what's in there. Getting rid of Paradise lets him snow without losing a card on the field. No, I understand that, but you can still do that later. You can activate Snow Chainlink 1 and then use the Keldo as Chainlink 2. You don't have to do it preemptively. That's why I was a little confused, because I didn't see a reason to do it preemptively there. Moon of the Closed Heaven. Sure. Turning this into sequence. Okay, we concede. We can't do anything through these this game was essentially won by Unicorn Rips. I mean, 4 times to be fair. They took 4 cards out of their extra deck with Unicorn, and that won in the game. Crazy, crazy stuff. Okay, let's jump into that. That'll be game. So that currently means it's 3-1. For team B and E. Oh, scores the wrong way around. Maxi in resolution to the Ether Barrel. We still add Drill Beam to hand. We activate Bingo Machine Go. 3 wishes. Gets added to hand. Activate wishes with the free discard of the Drill Beam. No Ash Blossom. We get Majesty. As well as Effect Veiler. Reset Drill Beam. Set 3. Tribute Ether Barrel to get Blue Eyes into the graveyard and pass. No draws under Maxi. At the very minimum, we know there's Majesty, we know there's Drill Beam, we know there's Effect Veiler. The only thing we don't know is if the Drill Beam is live. Dominus Purge onto Bonfire. Oh, we're drawing Maxi Bonfire out here? Okay, and Engraver. Alright, sure. Fiendsmith Tract. So far, the Fiendsmith stuff goes uninterrupted. Cracked Fuse into Lacrima. Does this prompt the Drill Beam? No. Lets him add the Engraver back to hand. Requiem Equip. Normal Summon Oak. Majesty. Blue Eyes in hand, indeed. Blue Eyes in the graveyard. Double pop. That's massive. Burn for 12. But there's still a live Drill Beam, so we're passing here. The Maxi basically did nothing. Ether Barrel back to hand, and now Blue Eyes is in firm control of this game, I feel. Gets another Lordly Load. And now we get to freely make our Link Monster. Now we're not under Maxi. Not activating the effect to grab the field spell, though. I think that was probably the top deck then. Gonna make a Tyrant Dragon. Attack for 34. Reset a trap from the graveyard, which is going to be Majesty. Which is in the column that could be the Imperm column, though. Declare Blue Eyes. We decide to Drill Beam the Lacrima immediately on the opponent. Did we have a... Can we get back a Drill Beam? Did we search a second Drill Beam? No, we're just passing. Okay. Well, currently that cuts them off of Fiendsmith completely, and Requiem is in the graveyard, but we do have an Engraver in hand, which we knew about, so... Dia Bellstar off the top, gets hit with an Effect Veiler. Cross out. Okay. That's a statement, that's strong. Engraver effect. Oh, that Majesty looking very good right now to pop the Dia Bellstar and the Engraver. No face up to send for original. Yep. And that's to pass. And that's the game. That's the game. 4-1 to Team B&E. What happened in the Luca game? Luca also lost. They got 5-1. That's not a very common thing that happens. I'm used to these guys winning these tournaments. All right, well, it's an early elimination for Herman, Nesh, and Luca. Not something we expected. And Team B&E will move on into the top 4. Very impressive. Okay. 5-1. So that was relatively quick. So let me reset the scores. And then we can jump into a different match. Let's see what's going on between Boss and Mark. Now, I can't really do scores for this one because I don't know what the exact score is at the moment for this team. Because we're jumping in the middle of the match. All right, we got Mark going first. 40 versus 40. Engraver does not really tell us what it is yet. Could be anything. The music for this field is very nice. I like this field. Very cool. Ooh, the Druid Worm here. Maxi in response though. Okay, on the own turn. Gets ashed on it. All right, mini gaming. Mini gaming. Yeah, I was thinking a second Bestial would have been nice. To not summon, like to summon it after the Maxi and stop you from summoning your own Druid Worm. Is it SP pass, really? I guess they were trying to draw a play with the Maxi, but they didn't. Or they had two. Which now it seems like. They had two Maxis, which makes sense. Requiem pass. Ooh, Sengenjin off the top there. Two Sengenjins, actually. One from Maxi and one for turn. It's not looking too hot, I would say. Or boss here. Royal Engraver, though. I'd like that. So this is summon number 4 And if we use Engraver to send Engraver here, we basically already have game in 4 summons. Don't even need to send it, actually. It's also just game by just attacking here. They let him go into the battle phase. I guess we saw Bisteels earlier, so there is a world where they can survive this. We'll see. Nope. Nope. All right. Boss going down here. That is another. Is that? Let me count these now, actually. That was Team 5Ds. Wins here, wins here. 3. I count 3 wins for Team 5Ds. How many losses for Team 5Ds? 1, 2, 2. I skipped Bronas. Now here's Bronas winning against 5Ds, yeah. 3. Is it? Oh, it's 3-3. Unless I'm missing something. Yeah, 3 and 3. Hopefully. Hopefully there's more games. I don't know. Maybe is it done? There's still 16 minutes left, so there likely is another set of games. Let's wait and see if they come back. I don't know, because the replay list, I think, has a maximum of 20. So sometimes there's older replays that I just can't see right now. I'll check the bracket and see if there's already a winner entered. Oh, there is. Okay, the EU team won that one. There's just some replays that I can't see. Okay. In fact, this is the last match that's still going on here. This one. Yeah. Let's spectate. Let's watch some RJ. How many teams play? We started with 16 teams, 8 from EU, 8 from Asia. This is now the top 8, and we are soon gonna have 4 teams left. Which currently, the current situation is in top 4, we have 2 teams from EU and 1 team from Asia. However, this match in top 8 is Asia versus Asia. So in top 4, we are also going to have 2 EU versus 2 Asia. And I can already tell you, I'm looking at the bracket right now, and both matchups in top 4 are EU versus Asia. It's not EU versus EU and Asia versus Asia. It is both matches are EU versus Asia in top 4. So perfectly balanced, perfectly exciting, best possible outcome. All right, what happened here? Branded got Fuvad and is now doing branded things. Well, we are still gonna draw some cards for this Fuvalos, depending on how crazy they want to go about it. Sanctifier Pass could be an option, yeah. Using those 2 alt arts to make Albion the Sanctifier Dragon gives them 1 card. Retribution. Adds back. Branded in High Spirits. Set 1, set 2, and pass. All right, we just got 6 cards in hand. That feels like a very respectable board. That seems difficult to play into. Why the trap? I mean, most people don't really think of it as that kind of card, but Branded Retribution's field effect is actually also quite strong. Yeah, it's basically like half of a Caesar, which turns out still pretty good. Oh, oh! Huh? Oh, it's Mermail. Okay, I was like... Wait, that's very scary. That turns off Albion. It turns off, like, any branded in red, anything like that. That's sometimes, that's very annoying right now. Mercurier on the Tias. If they have a way to get to Poseidra. Oh. This card Neptibus. Neptibus can activate to bring... Oh, that gives them a second normal summon. The Albion is actually not completely dead right now, because all you have to do is you have to target waters. Wait, but you're not giving your opponent... Wait, what's the point of this? You're not giving your opponent Neptibus. Okay. So but this is the same outcome than what they would have done had you not done this. Because what they would have done is use Neptibus to bring back infantry. They would have done the exact same thing. Why did we do the... Oh my god, you know what they can do? They can go into the rank 7 and bounce the Neptibus back to their own hand and then extra normal summon it with infantry. Because we took the Neptibus. Uh-oh. Just casual, non-target, return 3 cards your opponent controls to the hand, by the way. Nothing suspicious going on here. Nothing completely insane happening. Okay, they're not doing the cool thing to bounce their own Neptibus because they just get one from deck anyways. They could have done it though, and it would have been cool. It would have been cool, all right? Oh my god, there's the Poseidra. But like, here's the thing. How do we out Albion the Sanctifier Dragon? We can't target it anymore, and we've already gone through this. Do they have another non-target out to it? I guess Trishula or Chengying. Multiple deep sea divas. Okay, seems like they're kind of unsure what to do next. Feels like this turn you just gotta go for game, right? Like there's like no real alternative. They've got 7 cards in hand, so hand looping them is not really a thing. Their board looks really weird. It does look really weird, right? It feels like something has gone wrong somewhere. I don't know exactly what it is. I can't quite put my finger on it, but like something weird has happened. Miss Starboy? Nah. Where's Miss Starboy coming from? Me Starboy is crazy. God. Is this game? This is game. This is the weirdest way to achieve game in Mermail I've ever seen, but it should be. Unless... no, Aluber, you can't bring back Aluber because this barrier statue. No, this is game. Yep. Bro, Miss Starboy? 6 monsters. This card is adding 3,000 damage to this board, by the way. 3,000 damage. Oh god. Okay. Well, that was something. That was quite something. Let's see what's going on in the other game. I think that's the last game of the series probably because timer is running low. Slightly more than 5 minutes at the moment. Oh, nice turn 1. Another branded deck. Imperm. So it's branded versus Blue Eyes, right? It's what we've figured out so far. It's gotta be branded versus Blue Eyes. Interesting Fuva. Oh, it wasn't Blue Eyes. Oh. Oh, it resolved. I feel like you have to go in there. Oh, maybe not. Maybe if you have cards like DD Crow in your deck, then you don't have to. Oh yeah, they couldn't go in because they were under 2,000. Oh, the Sengaijin was so much worse than I thought it was. Make Verte. Activate Verte. Resolve Verte. And probably win off of Verte. Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Hold up. They're gonna live. At least this turn. Another DD Crow. Wait a minute. Okay, last card in hand is Golem, which does nothing. What deck are they playing? Is this Snake Eyes? With main deck DD Crows and Ghost Ogre? Is that really Snake Eyes? I mean, that setup is way too strong, I think, even for a top deck. Crystron, maybe. It is Crystron, and we draw Inclusion. Wait, hold up. Hold. Oh, no, no shot. No shot. But if we resolve Solfador, is there a world? Is there a world where we can make something happen here? We got Inclusion to revive one. We've got 2 cents from Solfador. There's Mirror Jade. Oh no, Lubellion. Excuse me, Mirror Jade next step. Discard Dark Ruler no more. Bring out Mirror Jade. There it is. Inclusion to revive Tristaros. Fistburn effect. Add Solfefnir, but they don't have a discard for it right now. Make Eliscaletus to get that discard. Add back Inclusion. Rindbrum. Discard Nibiru. Use into Titaniclad. Activate. So yeah, I don't think they can get far enough with this. Also just Retribution. Yeah, okay. Nah, this is a game. Branded takes it. GG's. All right. Branded was taken down by the water statue, but they're not taken down here. And that is going to be team, I believe, UNG. Yes, Team UNG moves on into the top 4. Okay, guys, that was very good duels in the top 8. I enjoyed that very much. Thank you all for playing. And congrats to the people that made it into the top 4. We will be back with our semifinals. Remember, 2 teams from EU, 2 teams from Asia still remain. We still need to find out which region is going to come out on top. We've got EU versus Asia in both top 4 matches coming up. So we're going to be back after a very, very short break. Don't go anywhere. Hope you're enjoying the tournament gameplay so far. And I will see you guys in a few minutes for the semifinals. All right, and indeed, the short break was short. We are here with the top 4, and up here, we have Team FSN0 versus Team UNG, which is EU versus Asia. And down here, we have Team BNE versus Team FSN, which is also EU versus Asia. So let's see which teams are going to make it into the finals, and let's check in with recent Worlds Qualifier European winner Bronas here, who's on Team FSN for this one, facing off against player 3 from BNE here. All right. Ashtira Unicorn here is the start. Gets Effect Veilered. All right. And we use Called by the Grave on it. We really care that much about grabbing this Kashtira Birth. I mean, also, you do get the look at the extra deck here. And when your opponent uses the Effect Veiler, it makes them seem like they're kind of scared of the Unicorn. Spirit with Eyes of Blue is the first banish. Wraith Soth next to that gets Aff. Okay. Enough! Wait, we go in? Oh, IP, okay. Sure, one draw. One draw plus revive the... No, do not revive the Unicorn, actually. And the IP also doesn't do anything. Well, holy interruptions, man. Veiler, Ash, Fuva, Ghost Ogre. Let me guess, normal summon Ether Barrel? Okay, well, that's Sage. That's probably even better. Well, that IP Masquerade are not looking too hot there without any friends, basically. Oh, the Maxi though. But they just chained the True Light, yeah. Well, you got no cards to your name. Well, maybe you can draw a good card. Nope. All right. Blue Eyes is good against Maxi, yeah. It's like one of the nicest things about playing a deck like that is not caring. Yeah, okay. The Drolan Lockbird resolves. That's a game. Well, we couldn't really do that much there, I feel like, but Blue Eyes takes the first game and showcasing some of the strengths of Blue Eyes. I mean, it is one of the decks with the most non-engine space, as well as one of the decks that is at the best against Fuva and Maxi. So let's see what's going on between player 1 and How Fast over here. currently it is 1-0 to Team B&E, I think it was. All right, we're starting with the Bellstar here. Discarding the Runix. This is a Fire King version. Okay. Huvalos. Chain Wanted. We just grab Ponix. Now, Fire King, I would say, is probably a little bit better into Fuvalos. Chains the Kirin to dodge the Imperm. That's such a good interaction. Searching Skyburn. Maybe indicating we already have Island? Or we don't want to Island. We don't want to Island. Okay. Bring back Ponix. Opponent's on 5 cards in hand. Activates Lordly Load and we Skyburn it immediately. That's how much respect we have for the Lordly Load. Use Kirin effect to revive Garunix. Don't pop Sage or anyways. Okay. Imperm the Sage. Let me guess. Activate Maiden. Get access to Blue Eyes, go to battle phase, run over Snake Eye Ash. Onyx triggers from this, however. So we get Sanctuary here for free. I don't know if that was worth attacking the Snake Eye Ash, but I guess maybe you have no choice. Dominus Impulse set onto the revive effect of the Spirit. How does it feel, Blue Eyes? How does it feel if your opponent just chucks a bunch of cards at you and doesn't let you do anything, huh? This is how it feels. Island resolves here, grabs the Garunix. And this is most likely going to be game rather quickly without doing too many summons. Gets rid of the Mausoleum. Sunlight Wolf. It actually is going to be more than 5 summons here. But the follow-up is also crazy. Ooh, Effect Veiler on the Promethean Princess. Okay. Stopping that for now. So I don't think we're going to be taking too much damage, actually. Oh, that removes the Fire Lock, so we can still summon that Dia Bellstar. Oak. One last time, Oak. Adds it to hand. Blue Eyes in the spell trap zone. Is that still a Blue Eyes you control? Depends on how the cards are worded. But it depends on what the card says. If a card just says if you control Blue Eyes White Dragon, it still would count. I encountered the exact same thing with Memento when I was playing the Duelist Cup, or when I was practicing for the Duelist Cup, I had one game where my opponent used Flamberge to put the Mementolan combined creation into the spell trap zone, but you can still use Mace to take your opponent's monster, and they didn't know that. Because it just is like, when you have it in your spell trap zone, Mace just says if you control combined creation, and you still have it, a card called combined creation on your field. But for example, yes, it does not count as a normal monster for like Primate Dragon Ether Barrel, for example. Because it's not a normal monster in the spell trap zone, of course. It's still a card called Blue Eyes White Dragon, but it's not a normal monster. And Snake Eye Fire King takes the win here and equalizes the series to a 1-1. What was the third game? Boss won. Okay, so that is 2-1 to Europe here in this one. Whereas in the other match, we have currently a 2-0 lead for Team UNG. So in the other match, the Asian team is up 2-0. In this one, the European team is up 2-1 going into the second rounds of games. Can you reveal it for Majesty in the spell trap zone? Hold up. Majesty, Blue Eyes. It depends on the card text. No, it says show up to 3 of the Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand, face up monster zone and or graveyard. So you cannot reveal it for Majesty because it specifies you have to reveal it from the monster zone. If it just said show a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your field, you could, but it says from monster zone, so you cannot. All right, waiting for the players to return for the second round of games. All right, why are we 6 people at 5 different tables? What's going on here? Maybe they have maybe they can't join each other's tables right now because like some sort of bug. What are the rules for this Challenger Cup? They have to stick to one deck. They definitely had to submit deck lists. I don't know if it was 1 or 2 deck lists right off the top of my head, but they definitely, we're playing with submitted deck lists. I don't know if it was 1 list per player or 2 lists per player like in the other Challenger Cups. But so far we've seen every player stick to the same deck, I think. So I'm thinking maybe it's just 1. All right, let's begin. Boss versus player 3 here. Current standing 2-1 in favor of the European team, FSN. 1 deck only. Okay. All right. So Let's see what we have here. Oh, Blue Eyes opener. Okay, set 1 pass. Engraver for Tract. Searches Lacrima, discards Lubellion. Interesting. That probably means we have 2 Lubellion in hand. I can't really see another explanation for this. We have to have 2 Lubellions. I understand. Sometimes I like going for Lacrima over Lurie because it gives you safer access to your Fiendsmith engine. Because even if the Requiem gets ashed now, you can still bring it back on the opponent's turn. Discarding Lubellion is something I think you only do when you have a second one in this instance. Maybe trying to play around Droll and Lockbird isn't really an argument there because you've already gone for Engraver and you didn't get Drolled after. I think it's going to be Necroquip and then discard Lubellion here. I know my Fiendsmith control players, dude. Yeah. I like the music. I'm just vibing. They were thinking about responding. Ooh, Druisworm. Okay, we have Magnamood in hand already as well. Okay. Valor the draw 1. Valor the draw 1 is crazy work. Bro, let me draw my card. What do you mean? What do you mean, Valor to draw 1? It feels like a Nibiru plus Imperm angle. I don't know. Just feels like that. Probably gonna wait for the Lubellion to hit the field, but... there's no way you let him get regained if you can prevent it. Okay, Majesty. Maybe Majesty plus Nib, or maybe just no Nib at all. I guess we're going to find out if they pop the Lubellion or the Caesar. If they pop the Caesar, they have Nib. If they don't pop the Caesar, then they don't have Nib. I mean, this is functionally the same as Nib Imperm, pretty much. Just with a smaller token, I guess. I think you might give him the token in attack position, because you can actually run over it in attack. Nope, okay. Schmidt in Paradise. Immediately used here. For Rex Tremende, which adds a Schmidt card back to hand. I like Rex Tremende. I've been enjoying playing with it. Adding back an Engraver. Now, we've used both effects of Engraver already. This turn. I'm not sure how important it was to use the Paradise there, but I guess we'll find out what they're trying to do with it. Maybe they have another Light Fiend in hand to Tract Fuse? Well, they got a lot of Bystials, I can tell you that much. Moon. Send. Now we Tract Fuse. Okay. Nice. Is this game? I think so, yes. I think Lacrima, revive the banished Lacrima, make Sequence, fuse into Desiree, make Agnum Day is gonna be game, yeah. If there's no interruption. Because you can make Sequence with a token, and we have enough Light Fiends to make a big Desiree and turn it into a big Agnum Day. But there is something. They just haven't used it yet. What would that be? Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, maybe? Does Ghost Ogre save him here? No. Ghost Ogre, it's game through Ghost Ogre. They had to Ghost Ogre the Sequence if they wanted to be alive. I love Agnum Day, man. Speaking of Agnum Day, there's a poll running right now for the next Challenger Cup season's mascot, and Agnum Day is one of the options. So please, everyone, vote Agnum Day. Please vote Agnum Day. I need Agnum Day. Yeah, here's the thing. The way Agnum Day is worded, it's still gonna summon. They had to Ghost Ogre the Sequence. They had to Ghost Ogre the Sequence. They actually had an answer. They would have lived. But Agnum Day still summons. It just doesn't equip. So that's still game. And Fiendsmith Control takes another win for Team EU, putting them up 3-1 in this series in the semifinals. Let's see how Bronas match finished. Bronas lost, so that is 4-2. No, 3-2. Never mind, not 4-2. 3-2. Selected going second. Oh, what did that mean? What does that mean? No, selected going first. Never mind. I misread. Did that say going first? Oh, dude, I'm tripping. I thought it said selected going second. Maybe I just misread. I feel like I lied. I made things up. Okay. A lot of Kashtira cards today. Ooh, Dominus Impulse. Onto the Requiem. Activate Tearlaman's Kashtira. Banish another Kashtira from hand. Bring back from banished. Make SP Little Knight. And pass. Okay, well, it's not what they were hoping for, I'm sure. But, I mean, it's still Fenrir Unicorn SP Little Knight. It's not bad. Not much, but it's honest work. Dia Bellstar. Chain SP Little Knight. Get the original, and now we can... We could have looked at the extra deck, but we didn't. Special Druid Swarm, get Fenrir. Also now take a look at the extra deck. Goodbye Promethean Princess. Goodbye Druid Swarm. Get rotated. Okay. Summon Poplar with Oak. Yeah, that's looking good. Looking good for the Snake Eyes, as long as they still have Oak. Onyx. All right, it was the Fire King deck with a Snake Eye package. Sanctuary, get Island, pop Onyx, get Garunix. Special Garunix. Destroy Kirin. Kirin, bring back Ponix. Destroy Birth. Make SP Little Knight. And pass. Layering out Nibiru a little bit there, of course. They could have done more, but also Promethean Princess was banished. SP beats the other SP because Wraith Soth. Flamberge steals Fenrir. That's evil. And we're just going battle phase. Can we add more damage to this, or do we just want to out the SP Little Knight safely? Okay, main phase 2. Activate Flamberge. Put SP Little Knight in the spell trap zone. Island destroys the Bellstar. Add Olcanix. Normal summon Olcanix. Effect. Looking very promising here. I mean, we are in main phase 2, but we can make a very strong board. Give me 1 second. Charlie just made a noise. I'll be right back. Alright, he good? He just pushed something off the table. I wanted to see what it was. Oh, it was Super Poly. Okay. I feel like this is the first time we're seeing the Tearlaman deck not work out today. Crashing the Garura to try and draw one last card. Okay, that's too late for the Link Revo. Still drawing a card of this Garura. Can it help us? Can we pull off a miracle here in main phase 2? Rhino Heart. Send Havness. Yeah, I think they thought by bringing back Linkaribo, they can force them to, if they want to crash the Garura, they take too much damage. But they brought the Linkaribo back too late. Because if you bring back Linkaribo back on attack declaration, you cannot use it anymore when they continue the attack. So here's Kikolos. SP Little Knight chains to it, trying to banish it. Succeeds in doing so. So what can this one Kikolos do? We have Tearlaments in the graveyard, so we can go for a Tearlaments Kashtira. Maybe some Miracle Mills can do it? We'll see. Summon successful. We're already in main phase 2. Clearing this board is going to be not the easiest task. Banishes a unicorn. Activate this. 3 more cards. Oh, meta noise for Sheeran. Hold up. I was about to say not the greatest mills, but we get 3 more, I suppose. 3 more. If we have a monster in hand. And we have 2 bodies for Fiendsmith already. Surprisingly, I feel like it's not over, depending on what they have in hand for both players. Nope. Surrendered. Okay. Why did we surrender that? FSN Dragon. So that means 4-2. Maybe they just didn't see a way out. Maybe they didn't have a monster in hand for Sheeran. Well, that is 4-2 for the European team. Team FSN up 4-2. Just 1 win away from making it to the finals of the EU versus Asia Challenger Cup. Oh, Requiem was in the graveyard. Okay, I missed that too. Yeah, okay. If Requiem was gone, then that was obviously a problem. All right. 2-5 wins. Yes, it's a best of 9 because it's 3 members on each team facing off against each other. So 9 games in total. If you win 5 out of 9 games, you move on. So let's jump in. Current situation 4-2 for Team FSN from Europe. So Team B&E needs to win all 3 games here in order to move to the finals. Not impossible though. We've seen it happen in the past. Bronas going first here, trying to close out the match for the team. Starting with Fiendsmith Tract. Discard Lurie. Get Max Seed. Do we have an answer? We do have an answer. Ash Blossom. Always have answers in 46. I feel like this is the second time today. I've watched 2 Bronas games, and both times we've normal summoned Droll and Lockbird. Well, it's been working, you know, we're all the way here in top 4. Sequence effect, fuses Lacrima. Brings back the other Lacrima. Okay. Waiting. Appaloosa. Pass. But we could have done Appaloosa without normal summoning the Droll and Lockbird, right? Just Tract makes Appaloosa without normal summoning. Ah. I guess we didn't need the Droll and Lockbird because we're resolving Max C. I understand. Epic. Well, 5 cards in hand, staring down an Appaloosa, 1 card in hand, and an active Max C with a Tearlament deck. We let the Rhino Heart resolve, because it's probably smarter to just negate the one in the graveyard. Yep, there we go. Appaloosa, negate Havness in the graveyard. That's 1 fusion effect away, gone for the turn. Only Sharon left. Talents! Oh. Oh. Now, do we take Apple and go in? Do we draw 2 and try to draw some defensive cards for next turn if we're not going in this turn because we're under Max C? Maybe it's just take the Apple, attack, and then make SP Little Knight or something. Give them 1 draw. Draw 2 is the option. Okay. We need some help off the top of the deck here. It's funny how that is usually considered to be one of the worst situations to be in, is if when you have to draw with talents, even though it's still a really good effect. All right, in the end phase, we're getting back a Requiem. And now we're starting off the turn with a pretty good spot, honestly. Feels like it. Requiem effect. Gets Lacrima out the deck. So what could Tearlaments have here? I mean, we know, of course, there's Soliek, Crime, and Meta Noise in the deck. We've seen Super Polys earlier as well. So there's still some quite annoying stuff potentially that the deck could have. Right? Like a Super Poly can still be very annoying. Requiem, equipped to the Engraver. There is a super poly. Okay, super poly discard. Do we have a good discard? Oh, it's just a tract. Nothing too exciting. But we are presumably fusing just 2 engravers. Yep. Into our own Fiendsmith Lacrima. And that's funny because it makes Appaloosa smaller and we pass. We have no play past the Fiendsmith cards. And now, how is Tearlament turning this around? We can just attack the Appo now. Do some damage. And potentially just play in main phase 2. Another tract. Add Lurie, discard Lurie. Are we going to see a Pilgrim Reaper? Feels likely. Bring out Lacrima. Ooh, do we play Paradise? I think Bronas did play Paradise in the qualifiers. Lacrima. There's Paradise. There is Paradise. Why a normal troll? Fair enough. Fair enough. Question is, how far does one Paradise really get you here? Because I guess you can't really send Sequence away before it fuses. Because otherwise they just shuffle it back with Engraver and make it again. So you have to wait for like the Pilgrim Reaper, but at that point they can already make like a big Apple as well. Oh no. Go for SP Little Knight. Targeting. Just force the Paradise here or what? Yeah. Well, we're forcing the Paradise. So obviously we're gonna chain it. So we're not going to use Desiree here because it's not worth sending anything. We're going to use Rex to search for some follow-up here and grab a tract back to the hand. Which is sometimes pretty neat. But I don't know if that's going to be good enough here because in main phase 2 here, we're still going to be getting the Pilgrim Reaper. And I mean, now with the Meta Noise, we're also getting Kiklos. I don't know if we can really break this. Even with the help of the tract, but... I like Rex Tremende as an option sometimes because you don't always want to use Paradise as removal. Sometimes you want to use it for follow-up as well. And that's pretty good here. But even with follow-up, we're going to need a lot next turn to break this Tearlament board that's about to happen. It might not be possible. We'll see. First, we see Kiklos tagging out into a Tearlament's Kashtira. So we're going to mill 8 cards. 8 cards. What is it going to be? Fairy Tale Snow. Yeah. Fairy Tale Snow. Scream. Oh, that's already been used. Fairy Tale Snow. And Keldo. Because Sharon has already been used and Scream has already... Okay, could be worse, honestly. We're using the Rhino Heart. Have we used the on-field effect this turn? No. Ah, this should be enough, right? because we can make Rule Colossus to be safe from Nibiru. We have an SP Little Knight as well already. So the plays are pretty insulated here. We have Nibiru. We have to Nibiru now because otherwise the Rule Colossus is going to ruin our day. Funnily enough, our set monster is going to stay here because Nibiru only tributes face-ups. So we're going to get to keep that set monster because they booked it with Meta Noise. Which is funny. Alright, we're still getting the Havness Fusion. And we're getting a Kaleido Heart now, because we don't have to be worried about Nibiru anymore. No need to go for Rule Colossus. So we're just going Kaleido Heart and spinning back that set monster, which was a Lacrima. And then we can go Engraver, and we still have not gone through Fiendsmith's sequence. Unless I'm misremembering things, but I don't think we did. Yeah, there we go. That's Fiendsmith's sequence, and that means we can still go for some pretty good plays here, depending on what we want to. We can still go Pilgrim Reaper. Still an option. But, I mean, I guess the question is, if you go Pilgrim Reaper, what's really left to hit? You already have Snow. You already have one of the Ishizu Shufflers. You can't really hit Tearlament cards anymore, because you've gone through all of them, basically. I don't think they're going to go for Pilgrim Reaper here, actually. We can equip Engraver with Requiem to get rid of that Nibiru. And then, I mean, just Appaloosa honestly seems pretty good here. Oh! I like that play. Sending your own Kaleido Heart with Engraver is always very fun. Alright, and Kaleido Heart returns and sends Heartbeat, so that gives you a free trap, basically. I like that. Nice play. Snake Eye Ash for a turn and a dream. I'm telling you right now, even if you draw Snake Eye Ash, I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough. We're not quite done yet. Tracked Fuse. We're making Desiree as well? Not Appaloosa. Okay, well, Desiree it is. Sequence equipped to it. Set 2. End phase. SP returns. And Tearlament's Kashtira returns. Snow in the graveyard, Keldo in the graveyard, SP on the board, Desiree on the board, 2 face downs. I think it's rough out here. We're going battle phase. Attack SP Little Knight. Get Meta Noised. Send Havness. For the Rule Colossus. And now our situation has not improved, and we're now in main phase 2. Engraver effect. They allow it. They're not scared of an engraver. We go into Requiem. Activate track. No Lurry. Ah, okay. We're trying to prevent the track cues from hand here, I guess. Yeah, okay. Shuffle back both engravers. Not entirely sure how scary tracked fuse really was there. Normal summon Lacrima. We bring out Snow. Set the Lacrima face down. Requiem effect. I'll just rule close this. Yeah, and then one card in hand. How is one card in hand beating SP, Desiree, and Set Sulik? In main phase 2, nonetheless. A Dia Bellstar. Well, that's not gonna do it. That is not going to do it. All right, I think it's safe to say that Tearlaments has turned this game around and will take this game. However, they still rely on their teammates to finish the job, because this only means they will get the match to a 4-3. But still, both of their teammates will have to win their games, otherwise they will still be eliminated. I don't currently know what the scores in the other matches are, or like in the other games. I know the result of the other semifinal. I can tell you the other semifinal was won by the Asian team. So with the team around team captain Cute Snail has defeated team FSN 0 and are in the finals. So in the finals, there's a team from Asia waiting. I don't know why we're fighting so hard here. You are definitely losing this turn. And one Fiendsmith Requiem is not going to change that. Also, why are you not attacking? Oh, come on. just finish it. Bro, second time engraver on your own Collider art because it was so fun the first time around. All right. And Tearlaments remain strongest. Now, here's the thing. This is the 3-4. But I assume the other matches have already finished. I assume the other games have already finished, and now we're going to check out which team has made it into the finals. They've turned it around. They were down 2-4. They won all 3 games. Team B and E. Player 3 wins against How Fast. Player 1 wins against Boss. Player 2 wins against Bronas. They turned it around. They turned the 2-4 into a 5-4. And that means our finals for today is Asia versus Asia. We had two Asia teams and 2 EU teams in top 4. Both Asian teams came out on top. And the finals is going to be Asia versus Asia, which I guess it already spoils the winner of this this iteration of the EU versus Asia Challenger Cup. It is going to be an Asian team that's going to take it all. But we still have to find out which Asian team is going to be the one to take the tournament. So we have one last match to be played, and that is, of course, the grand finals of this iteration of the EU versus Asia Challenger Cup. And we're gonna, of course, expect some great matches between these two Asian teams. We're gonna see some good Yu-Gi-Oh! And I mean, still, you know what? Good fight, EU. You put up a good fight. There was some really good matches here. This one also came down to the wire. We've fought until the very end, but this time it's Asia's turn to win one of these tournaments, and we're gonna find out if that's going to be Team UNG or Team B and E. Those are our 2 finalists in this one. All right. Seems like the players are getting a very short break before the finals is started, just a couple of minutes. So I'm gonna go real quick, refill my water. We're gonna have a 2-minute break, I assume, until the finals begins. Not much of a break this time around. Until we watch the finals of this Challenger Cup. So I hope you're enjoying the show so far, and I hope you'll stay with me for the finals, which will begin in just a couple of minutes. So don't go anywhere. We'll be starting very shortly. All right, duelists, welcome back one final time for the grand finals of today's EU versus Asia Challenger Cup edition. We have two teams in the finals and they are both from Asia. So congratulations to all the Asian teams. You have already won today's tournament basically for the Asia region, but we still need to figure out which team is going to win it all. We have Team B&E versus Team UNG here. And we're gonna hop right into the finals. It has just begun as we speak. So let us figure out one final best of 9 to determine the winning team for today's tournament. All right, let's see what we've got. And of course, we know there's one tournament player on the B&E team, which is the one we're going up against here with Crystron. Crystron Smyger is the normal summon. We turn into Clockwork Knight to be able to search for Crystron Inclusion. And Inclusion grabs us Solfador. Of course, this is one of the decks that was had its breakout performance at the latest Worlds qualifier, basically taking first place in the entire world in the hands of Task. And so more and more players have been trying their hands at the Crystron strategy, and it's been doing pretty well, all things considered. So we see it here in the finals with Solfador sending from the deck to the graveyard Tristaros and Cluster. Gonna bring back Tristaros with Inclusion, and then probably follow this up with a level 7 Synchro into Elascaletus. And that's gonna be able to add back the Cluster from the graveyard. And then we're gonna be banishing the Tristaros from the graveyard to destroy this Elascaletus, which basically turns one monster into 3 monsters. Because Tristaros lets you summon 2 from the deck, and Elascaletus, when it's destroyed, summons 1 from grave or banished. So we summon 1 level 5, 2 level 5s from the deck. That screams Nova into infinity. And then we're getting the Tristaros back, which we're probably happy to just have as part of our end board. We're just probably going to keep that around. So there's Nova. So this board is strong, but it's also not unbeatable for a deck like Tearlaments. We're attaching the Clockwork Knight to the infinity to make it slightly stronger. Set 2, one of them is Cluster, we know that. Last turn. All right. So we have an Infinity Negate, we have Tristaros to quick synchro on the opponent's turn, and we have a Cluster. Which is good, but not unbeatable, I think. All right, we're starting with Kashtira Unicorn, which immediately gets clustered. So first interaction already baited out with the Kashtira Unicorn. Do we have another Kashtira to special summon? That's always the one that hurts the most, when they have another one. Doesn't look like it. We're going for reinforcement of the army. Most likely for Rhinoheart. There it is. Following it up with Fiendsmith Track. Not normal summoning the Rhinoheart just yet. Ooh, tracked for Lurie, but discard Saliek. We've got some tricks up our sleeve here, but now we have a Lurie in hand. I feel like this Saliek is going to try to search a Shirin. So that we can maybe discard the Rhinoheart. Okay, we're ashing the Saliek search. Okay. Now there's two normal summons in their hand, a Lurry and a Rhino Heart. They choose the Rhino Heart. And Chain Super Poly. Discarding Lurry, that's gonna come back because that's a discard. And we can fuse Rhino Heart together with Tristaros into Muddragon of the Swamp. Rhino Heart resolves. Chainlink 1 Lurry, Chainlink 2 Havness. Notably not triggering the Rhino Heart. Don't want to or don't have a tier card in hand, I guess. And now's the question, do you infinity negate the Havness in the graveyard? You probably do, right? You probably do. Oh, never mind. You don't have to. You play Crows. Okay, well prepared for this matchup here. DD Crow onto the Havness. Now, here's the thing, though. We could have gone DD... We could have gone Infinity Negate Havness and Crow the Lurry as well. That would have also been an option, I feel. Okay, the Crow still really helps in this matchup, of course. Let it resolve. Havness goes bye-bye. And Lurry hits the board. I mean, yeah, but if you just go Requiem, they can negate the Requiem with Infinity as well. I think it's going to come down to the card in hand here for B4 for player 2 from B&E. Like if there's no great card in hand, I don't think you can break this. And if there's one thing that Crystron is really strong at, it's follow-up turns. Like if you don't completely get rid of everything, they can just rebuild so efficiently. All right, Infinity negates the Requiem. And now it's down to what's the last card in hand? Nothing. All right, nothing. And Crystron takes the game off of the Hierolement deck for Team UNG. That is a 1-0 lead for Team UNG. And they're going first in this match as well. With an Abyss TS, discard Dragoons. Oh, that's scary. No Maxi either. They might be up. They might be in for a quick 2-0 lead. Normal summon Neptabyss. Send Dragoons. No Droll and Lockbird either. Minstrel moment. The moment of truth. What do they have? Just an Effect Veiler. Just an Effect Veiler. The rest is just Blue Eyes. They're gonna let him play, but this is looking very, very promising for Mermail Atlantean. Now they do have more than 5 waters in the graveyard though, so they might not be able to go for Mooling Glacier anymore. Yeah, it looks like no Mooling Glacier. But they did play... I think they did play Barrier Statue. I think we saw it earlier. Level 10. Adrian. And That's your mermail combo. That's the uninterrupted. Okay. That does not feel like the full mermail combo. Maybe maybe it's more like what mermail should be. Alright, called by the grave on Maiden, gets drill beamed. They have 2 though. You had 2 called by the graves. He is dragoons. And Ash Boss. Okay, man. Okay. Okay. I guess it wins anyways. Oh, gotta flip the scores because they're sitting the other way. And they bricked again. Dude, this Blue Eyes deck, specifically this Blue Eyes player with these sleeves, I feel like I've seen them pass turn 1 like 80% of the time. Every time they draw a hand in this Blue Eyes deck, they say, it's your turn now. Alright, well, double Fuba though. And that draws 4 cards. Because Kristaros summons 2 times. That hurts a lot. Can we go for a game under Fuva? Oh. Oh, God. Yeah, casual draw 3. Oh my God. No, 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 no. So, do you think they're gonna have a play next turn? Or still nah? It would be so funny if they still didn't have a play. It would be so funny. I guess the Magnamut guarantees it. Yeah, I think it is fair to assume that Blue Eyes is going to keep them in the match here. I don't think they're going to go down 3-0 in the first couple of games. The cluster is good here onto the Lore Reload. But surely we can manage to do like at least a little Tyrant Dragon to clear the board. Of course, did still not draw the field spell. Did they draw True Light? Yeah, okay, they did. Why would they draw the field spell? They can just search it, man. Yeah. Okay, my bad. But this is just game, isn't it? But this is absolutely game. Oh no, the Samurai Destroyer negated the blue eyes. Okay. All right. Blue Eyes takes a game in the finals, and it is 2-1 now. And we go into the second round of games here. With Team UNG up to the 1. Starting with Roar, not ideal once again. Set 2, set 3 pass. Whoa, if any of my Blue Eyes opponents in the Duelist Cup would have drawn like this, I would have loved it. All right, Sengen Jin. Golem. Temple. Ooh, Temple hard draw. Not pleasant. Put a Smiger into the graveyard there, though. And the Blue Eyes has successfully been placed in the spell trap zone. Called by the Grave, banish the Smiger in response to the Golem now. Pay 2,000, activate inclusion, had it anyways. All right, quick concession by Blue Eyes. 3-1 for Team UNG. Not the greatest hand for the Blue Eyes player here. So let's see what in the other games are going any better. That was a quick one. Deep Sea Diva. Chain Maxi. Oh, it resolves. Okay. Okay. 10 Dragoons get crowed on Dragoons. Oh. Oh, Shadow Squad. Shadow Squad mandatory trigger. Gonna give another card into Max C. This card Poseidra for Pike. Search another Shadow Squad. Pass. Alright, well, we have Abyss Rhine. Maybe if we have a Neptabyss to discard, we can go and revive Poseidra. Grab another barrel, which basically tells you there is Drill Beam in hand. We have a counter Maxi, but they got Ash for it. They are the better mini gamer. Here's the thing, though. The Abyss Rhine, if we have Neptabyss, that's still pretty good here. Ah, but they just got all the tools, right? Majesty, Sage, Field Spell. Now we pop the Abyss Rhine. It is Neptabyss. Okay. Draw one. Neptabyss effect. Bring back Poseidra. Sends infantry. Try and bounce Blue Eyes to the hand. Honestly, I feel like if we had Neptibus, the best play to do that was probably to do it when they had the Link monster and the field spell. And then you try to bounce the Link monster and pop the field spell. That way you get rid, they don't have Blue Eyes access because you are not letting them send it with the field spell. Plus, you get rid of the extra normal summon if it works out. I mean, we know they have Drill Beam, so the bounce is never going to happen. But, yeah. Alright, so Drill Beam banishes and negates the Poseidra, and now Infantry destroys Blue Eyes. But, like, they have Maiden, no? I feel like getting rid of the field spell there was probably better. Because getting rid of the field spell means they can't normal summon the Sage. It might be stuck in hand, and they might not have access to Maiden. Because the popping the Blue Eyes, you know they're getting the Blue Eyes back, right? Because you know they can have normal summon Sage, get True Light with Maiden, and then just bring back the Blue Eyes. They didn't want to get the board cleared by Titan. The board is clear anyways, though, if they want to. Like, they can clear the board no matter what. And the Tyrant doesn't even reset a trap card, so it's not that big of a deal. I guess if you have a Nibiru in hand, you can clear this now, and then it might be the end of it. And you might get another turn at least. That, like, I mean, a turn without being completely lost. I'll see. Declare another Blue Eyes. Nibiru would go kind of hard here, wouldn't it? At least there's no Drill Beam. We did bait the Drill Beam, that's true. Alright, battle phase. I guess one monster is going to stay here. Which is probably the... Okay, I would have probably left the Diva alive, but sure. Nibiru can save them, I think. But otherwise, Spirit Dragons are so good against graveyard decks. Yeah, no Nibiru. No Nibiru. 4 cards in hand, though it's not impossible. I've seen crazier wins with Mermail, I think. Oh, that's not the desired normal summon though. Shadow Squad. I guess threatening the rank 7 is good. This card, another Shadow Squad. Okay, well, the Spirit Dragons are just gonna negate that. Yep. And now we can make a rank 7 at least. Oh, they play Crimson Dragon. Okay. And they tag out into a level 9? Trishula technology. Okay, that should seal the deal. That should seal the deal, and so it does. 2 to 3 here. They are not going down without a fight. The Trishula in Blue Eyes technology. I've seen it before, but you don't see it very often. You definitely do not see it very often. All right. Team UNG going first here. They have the lead currently, 3 to 2. Foolish Burial for Crystron Smyger. And they are up against Tearlaments here with Crystron. We've seen this exact matchup in the first round of games, and Crystron was able to take it. Let's see how this one goes. We draw access to Crystron and we draw access to Millennium, so we can basically go full combo here. We already have the cluster secured in hand as well. But don't really want to go zombie vampire here, I think. Yeah. I think if you can avoid it, you would like to not use zombie vampire. So we're making Baron. Yeah, we're not making zombie vampire. Sulfador, destroy the inclusion. Tristaro's effect, destroy Axel Synchro Stardust, gets Citri and Sulfador. Make Nova. Into Infinity. Attach the Doomed Dragon, because you need space. Discard Cluster for Sulfefnir, destroy Wedju Temple. Synchro for Eliscaletus. This is some unusual order, but okay. I guess we're using Baron now to pop the Eliscaletus, maybe? Yeah. Brings back Tristaros. Inclusion can bring back Citri. Set Cluster, call it a day. 2 quick Synchros, 2 Negates, and Cluster. Pretty strong. Infinity negates Wraith Soth. Citri, quick Synchro. Chain Super Poly. They have it always. Always with the Super Poly. That's a Garura for free. Not a great discard though. It was just Kashtira Birth. Branded Tears, I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Normal summon Keldo, make SP Little Knight, Keldo chain, Garura Chainlink 1, SP Chainlink 2 to bait the Baron, and then also chain SP to banish the Sulfador. They could prevent this with Cluster if they want to, but okay. They don't care enough. Negate that, draw a miracle card off of the Garura. Does it help? Talent. Okay. Draw 2. Grieve. Wait, there's no way you... How do you keep turning around these crazy games? Oh, never mind. We missed. Another Super Poly. Ash on Tristaros. Lets it resolve. Make SP Little Knight. Banish Tearlament's Kashtira. End phase. Alright. 2 cards in a dream. Nope. Tearlaments going down once again to Crystron. To be fair, they've gone second both times. They've gone second both times. And this means we are at 4-2 right now in favor of Team UNG, which means we have one last set of games, and Team UNG, all they have to do is win one out of those games, and they will be the champion of the tournament. Team BNE on the other side, they have to win all 3 games. Otherwise, they will be in second place. All right, so let's hop into the first one. And UNG wins this coin toss. This is Crystron versus Blue Eyes. We've seen both of these decks in action. Strong start. Normal summon Tristaros to insulate your place and inclusion. Solfador effect. This might already be the match winner here, honestly. This is a really strong start for Crystron. And Blue Eyes not the best deck at breaking these sort of boards, but we'll see. I mean, of course, it's not over until it's over. So we search Cluster. Level 7 Synchro into Ellis Galetis. There is something. They are thinking about a response here. Now, if it's Imperm or Veiler, I don't think that's great on Ellis Galetis. I think they don't really care about the add back in this instance. I think an Ash Blossom on the graveyard effect of Tristaros could be really good. They had it. Adds bags, my girl. It's probably just for follow-up. Tristaro's graveyard effect. Here we go. That's a big choke point. If you can... Okay, never mind. No Ash Blossom. Summon Citri and Soul Fefnir. And then revive Tristaros with Ellis Galetis. Now we inclusion for a level 5. And that's going to be Nova into Infinity. And honestly, that might already be the end board. Because set... And that's really tough for Blue Eyes to break, I feel. Set 2. Has turn. Remember, if they cannot break this, if they don't win this game as the Blue Eyes player, they are out of the tournament in second place. This is the finisher, potentially. Starting with Roar. I feel like this is the 3rd or 4th time a Blue Eyes player has started with Roar today, and it's never been a good sign. It's never been a good sign when that was your first play, but we'll see. This is the finals, yes. Is this 3v3 with Worlds format? Well, I mean, it's a best of 9, like the World Championship, but it is not the same deck building rule. Oh, and there was a Magnum Mood in hand. Usually such a strong card, but not against Crystron. Cyber Dragon Infinity attempts to negate the wishes, but there's a Drill Beam. Okay, we are not going down without a fight here. You can cluster your own Infinity here to dodge the Drill Beam. I like that play a lot. I like that play a lot, because negating that wishes seems huge. Yep, and so we do dodge the Drill Beam. We negate and destroy the wishes. Ooh, DD Crow on open game state, getting rid of the wishes to stop them from making Tyrant Dragon. Okay. Neo Kaiser Seahorse, on the other hand, is an extender here that kind of works. Chain Tristaros. We could potentially see Quarion Gundrax here already. The level 9 synchro that banishes 3 cards. Chain Ghost Ogre though, hold up. Last card in hand, Ghost Ogre. A Cult by the Grave here could end it. It's still going to be tough. It's still going to be an uphill battle for Blue Eyes here because Crystron has very strong follow-up naturally. Like they have all of the Crystrons in graveyard. Like it's looking like Crystron's next turn is super scary, and I doubt that Blue Eyes can win this turn. But like it's definitely closer than I thought so far. All right, so Tristaros summons Solfador. And you are now forced to make a level 7 synchro with these two. Which could just be another Ellis Galetis, probably. I mean, making a Dragster doesn't seem that useful. I guess Dragster can still stop the field spell. Which has some merit. We'll see. And they do go for Dragster. Can't they chain Citri and go for Synchro 9? With Citri, you can't do that. Because the way Citri is worded, Citri, you synchro summon a machine monster using only that one monster that it summons and this card. So with Citri, you can only use two monsters for the synchro summon. You can only make Quarion Gondrax with Tristaros because Tristaros is worded slightly differently. It says, immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon a machine synchro monster using monsters you control, including that monster. So it's like the only requirement for Tristaros to synchro summon is that you use the monster you summon. Anything else you can do whatever you want. But with Citri, you have to use exactly itself and the monster you get. So they work slightly differently. All right, it looks like it's a Seals Pass angle. Seals Pass, and I honestly have my doubts that Seals Pass is going to hold against the full Crystron follow-up here. Especially because we can just start with Cluster to force the Seals. We can just use Cluster on Seals. They have to chain it. And then we can go from there, basically uninterrupted. And that's what we do. Activate Cluster on Seals. They have to chain. Probably bounce the Dragster out of the way, which is fine, I guess. But still. We are getting a dragon from the deck, but that's probably not going to be too helpful. Just gets Ether Barrel in rotation, and now it's basically Crystron can do whatever they want here. The only thing that like kind of holds them back is that they've already gone through Infinity and Nova, which usually is one of each, but they might just be able to find game here without any of that. It could easily be game here depending on what they have in hand. Maybe they don't even need anything in hand, because there's not a whole lot of resistance here. Just one Primite Ether Barrel. And yeah, even if they don't win, they're going to have a very strong position. They're making it simple. They're not going for game here, I think. Or maybe they are still going for game. But Quarion Gondrox first banished 3 monsters from field and graveyard. So we're getting rid of Ether Barrel, Blue Eyes, and Maiden. All 3 banished, completely ruining the follow-up. And now we can use Tristaro's Graveyard effect to destroy the Quarion Gondrox, which, if destroyed, it summons a banished monster. We're not even doing that, though. We're just going battle phase. I mean, to be fair, what can they draw? What can Blue Eyes draw here to beat the Cluster? Cluster plus Tristaros. We don't have to win on that turn. If we can secure the game a turn later. 1 draw off top needs to be a miracle here. Otherwise, and that is it. UNG wins the 3 versus 3 Asia versus EU Challenger Cup. Well, technically Asia versus Asia in the finals, but Crystron takes down Blue Eyes here. Honestly, they put up a good fight. After how strong that turn 1 field looked, they managed to do a surprising amount to get it a little closer than I thought it was. But ultimately, they do fall, and Team UNG is your 3 versus 3 Challenger Cup champion this time around. Congratulations. Very well played across the board. Enjoyed watching these games. I hope you enjoyed today's stream. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for participating as well. And congratulations to Team UNG and Asia for winning today's tournament. This is not the last stream of the weekend, though. I will be live tomorrow for another Challenger Cup, which is the Challenger Cup finals of the spring season. Which is going to happen tomorrow, where all the best players from the spring season are going to play for that elusive title of spring season champion. So I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Thank you all for tuning in today. Thank you to Konami for sponsoring the Challenger Cups as always. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Saturday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Challenger Cup spring season finals. Bye bye everybody. Thank you for watching.